If we could build a time machine back to 1993, the first stop for many of us would be reliving the absolute magic of watching Mrs. Doubtfire for the very first time. That voice, warm, funny, unmistakably British, coming out of a face you somehow completely believed in, while a living room full of kids laughed until their sides hurt. Whether you watched it with your family on a rainy afternoon or caught it on a VHS tape you rewound so many times it nearly wore out, that film wrapped itself around your heart and never quite let go. Decades have passed, but the warmth they brought into our living rooms remains. Today, we're unveiling fascinating behind-the-scenes secrets and looking at the inspiring paths our favorite stars have taken. Let's take a deeply nostalgic trip and see where they are in 2026. Kicking off our list at number 1, we have Robin Williams, who played the iconic Daniel Hillard, and the one, the only, Mrs. Euphigenia Doubtfire. At the time of filming in 1993, Robin was 41 years old, and he brought every single one of those years of life experience, wit, and pure electric energy into this role. Even just watching old clips today, you feel it immediately. This wasn't an actor playing a part. This was a force of nature being set free. Robin Williams is the emotional anchor this film is built on, and the reason millions of kids around the world felt, for the first time, that a movie genuinely understood the complicated love between a parent and a child. His performance didn't just make you laugh. It made you believe that a father's love could be so fierce, so devoted, that he'd turn himself into an entirely different person just to be close to his children. For so many of us, he wasn't just a movie character. He was a second dad, the kind who could make you smile even on your very worst day. Here's a behind-the-scenes gem that will blow your mind. Director Chris Columbus revealed that because he was filming with multiple cameras simultaneously, almost like a live documentary, Robin Williams would improvise so wildly and brilliantly between takes that the crew actually ran out of film. The iconic Mrs. Doubtfire makeup took 4 hours to apply each day, and Robin reportedly wore the full costume and walked around San Francisco in character, completely unrecognized by the public. Robin Williams was born on July 21, 1951, and gave the world 63 extraordinary years of laughter, heart, and genius. He left us in 2014. Though he is no longer with us, his brilliant performances are immortalized on screen, continuing to make new generations smile. He left an unforgettable and beautiful legacy. Coming in at number 2 is Sally Field, unforgettable as Miranda Hillard, the mother at the center of the storm. Sally was 46 years old during filming, and in 2026, she is a radiant 79, proof that talent and grace only deepen with time. Still luminous, still the kind of actress who commands every room she walks into. Miranda Hillard could have so easily been the villain of this story, the woman keeping a father from his children. But Sally Field made her something so much more human, a woman who was exhausted, overwhelmed, and just trying to hold her family together. Her performance gave the film its emotional truth. Without Miranda's warmth beneath the frustration, the whole story would collapse. She was our anchor to reality in a film full of beautiful chaos. Here's something extraordinary about Sally Field's legacy. She holds 2 Academy Awards for Best Actress, for Norma Ray, 1979, and Places in the Heart, 1984, plus 3 Primetime Emmy Awards and a Kennedy Center honor in 2019. She then received the Screen Actors Guild Life Achievement Award in 2023, cementing her as one of the most celebrated actresses in American history. And in 2026, Sally Field continues to grace both screen and stage. She remains a beloved and deeply respected figure in Hollywood, and her autobiography, In Pieces, 2018, gave the world a deeply personal portrait of this extraordinary woman, aging like the finest of fine wines. At number 3, bringing Stu Dunmire to life, we have Pierce Brosnan. Pierce was a devastatingly handsome 40 years old during filming, and in 2026, he is 72. And yes, still absolutely proving that Irish charm is entirely age-proof. Here's what makes Stu Dunmire such an interesting character. He's essentially the other man in a story about a father fighting to reclaim his family. but Pierce Brosnan played him with such genuine warmth and decency that you couldn't even really dislike him. That takes real skill. He made the film's emotional equation more complicated and more honest. The fun fact that will make you do a double take. Just 2 years after playing the well-meaning romantic rival in Mrs. Doubtfire, Pierce Brosnan stepped into a tuxedo and became James Bond in GoldenEye, 1995, one of the most celebrated Bonds of all time. From Miranda Hillard's new boyfriend to the world's most famous spy in 24 Months Flat. In 2026, Pierce Brosnan is as busy and magnetic as ever. He starred in the acclaimed TV series Mobland, 2025, alongside Tom Hardy and Helen Mirren, and has a new film Cliffhanger currently in post-production. He also remains a passionate environmental activist, a dedicated painter, and a UNICEF Ireland ambassador. The man truly contains multitudes. Number 4 goes to Harvey Fierstein, who captured our hearts as Frank Hillard, Daniel's wonderfully flamboyant and fiercely loyal brother. Harvey was 41 during filming, and in 2026, he is a magnificent 73. That unmistakable gravelly voice every bit as distinctive as the day you first heard it. Frank Hillard is one of the unsung joys of this entire movie. With his partner Jack, he transforms Daniel into Mrs. Doubtfire, and does it with such loving, irreverent energy that every scene he's in becomes a memory you keep. Harvey Fierstein gave Frank a heart as big as his personality, and in doing so, showed us that chosen family is every bit as powerful as the family you're born into. Here's the remarkable backstory. Harvey Fierstein's voice, that one-of-a-kind deep, gravelly sound the entire world recognizes, is actually the result of overdeveloped ventricular folds in his vocal cords, giving him a rare, double voice. Beyond Mrs. Doubtfire, he is a 4-time Tony Award winner, a playwright, a screenwriter, and an inductee into the American Theater Hall of Fame, 2007. In 2025, he was honored with a Lifetime Achievement Tony Award, one of Broadway's highest tributes. He also voiced Yao in Disney's Mulan, 1998. That growling warrior was him. In 2026, Harvey Fierstein remains one of the most celebrated figures in American theater and culture, a true giant in every sense of the word. Next up at number 5, we have Lisa Jacob as the beloved Lydia Hillard, the sharp, emotionally perceptive eldest daughter. Lisa was just 14 years old during filming, and in 2026, she is 47, and still as thoughtful and insightful as the teenager she once played on screen. Lydia Hillard was the teenager in the film who asked the questions the adults were too afraid to ask, the one who saw the world clearly and loved her father even when she didn't quite understand him. Lisa brought a quiet intelligence to that role that gave the film so much of its emotional depth. For so many viewers, Lydia was the mirror, the child in all of us watching a family struggle and somehow hold together. Here's a heartwarming behind-the-scenes story. During filming, Lisa was expelled from her high school due to extended absences for the production. Her co-star, Robin Williams, personally wrote a letter to the school advocating for her reinstatement, a gesture she has spoken about with deep gratitude ever since. After retiring from acting around 2001, Lisa Jacob gracefully stepped away from the Hollywood lights to find her true calling as an author, certified yoga teacher, and mental wellness advocate, proving that sometimes real-life happiness is the best script of all. She has written 2 acclaimed books, You Look Like That Girl, 2015, and Not Just Me, 2017. And in 2023, she founded Mission Flexible, a nonprofit providing fully funded mindfulness retreats for military veterans with PTSD. Inspiring beyond words. Coming in at number 6 is Matthew Lawrence, unforgettable as Christopher "Chris" Hillard, the energetic middle child and birthday boy whose chaotic party sets the entire movie in motion. Matthew was 13 during filming, and in 2026, he is 46, still exuding that boyish, likable charm that made him America's sweetheart in the 90s. Chris Hillard is the catalyst of the entire story. It's his birthday party that Daniel throws behind Miranda's back, triggering the divorce that sends the whole plot spinning. Matthew Lawrence played him with such natural, unaffected energy that you completely believed in him as the kid in the middle, trying to make sense of a world that had been turned upside down. He became a touchstone for so many viewers who had navigated the complexities of their own family changes. Fun fact: Matthew's real last name is actually Mignogna. Lawrence is the family's collective stage name. His older brother is Joey Lawrence, and his younger brother is Andrew Lawrence, making them one of Hollywood's most famous acting families. He went on to play the beloved Jack Hunter on Boy Meets World, 1997-2000, a role that won him a whole new generation of fans. In 2026, Matthew Lawrence continues to act, podcast, and stay deeply connected to his fans. He hosts the warm and candid Brotherly Love podcast with his brothers and remains a beloved figure in the entertainment world. In May 2024, he even reunited with his fellow Hillard siblings Lisa Jacob and Mara Wilson alongside Pierce Brosnan for a joint podcast appearance, proving the Mrs. Doubtfire family bond is still very much alive. At number 7, we have Mara Wilson as the beloved Natalie "Natty" Hillard, the youngest Hillard child and possibly the sweetest thing in the entire film. Mara was only 5 years old at the start of filming in 1993, barely old enough to understand what was happening around her on set, yet she delivered moments of pure, unfiltered magic. In 2026, she is 38 and has grown into one of the most articulate and thoughtful voices of her generation. Little Natalie was the pure heart of the story. She loved Mrs. Doubtfire with an openness and innocence that made the final reveal all the more moving, because even after everything, her love never wavered. Mara Wilson's completely natural, unguarded performance made audiences around the world fall for her instantly. She was the childhood crush that wasn't romantic at all. She was the little sister everyone wished they had. Here's a delightful fun fact. During her audition, producers asked all the child candidates how they would react if their own dad dressed up as a woman. While other children gave measured answers, Mara apparently burst out laughing and said, "I would be on the floor," and the role was hers. She went on to play Matilda in Matilda, 1996, one of the most iconic child roles in cinema history. After stepping away from film acting, Mara Wilson gracefully stepped away from the Hollywood lights to find her true calling as a writer, playwright, and stage actress, proving that sometimes real-life happiness is the best script of all. She published her acclaimed memoir, Where Am I Now?, in 2016, has been a passionate mental health advocate, and continues to write and perform in New York City. A beautiful evolution. Number 8 goes to Robert Prosky, who brought Jonathan Lundy to life, the TV station executive who recognizes Daniel's hidden brilliance and opens the door to his dream. Robert was 62 when he played the warm, avuncular Mr. Lundy, and his performance brought exactly the right kind of quiet authority to the role. Jonathan Lundy is the person in the film who sees past the chaos and recognizes that Daniel Hillard is genuinely talented, someone worth believing in. Every great story needs a character like that, and Robert Prosky inhabited it with his trademark dignity and depth. A remarkable career fact: Robert Prosky was beloved on Broadway, earning 2 Tony Award nominations for Glengarry Glen Ross, 1984, and A Walk in the Woods, 1988. He was also famous to millions of TV viewers as Sergeant Stan Jablonski on Hill Street Blues, 1984-87, a role he made deeply human in just a few seasons. Robert Prosky was born December 13, 1930, and graced the world with 77 extraordinary years of performance. He passed away in 2008. Though he is no longer with us, his brilliant performances are immortalized on screen, continuing to make new generations smile. They left us a beautiful and timeless legacy that fans still celebrate today. Coming in at number 9 is Anne Haney, unforgettable as Mrs. Sellner, the fastidious social worker who inspects Daniel's apartment and delivers some of the film's most memorably comic moments. Anne was 58 and a half at the time of filming, bringing every bit of her theater-trained precision to Mrs. Sellner's delicious combination of judgment and unwitting humor. You knew the moment she appeared on screen that this was a woman who had seen everything and was entirely unimpressed. Here's a wonderful crossover fact. Anne Haney played a similarly sharp-eyed character in Liar Liar, 1997, as Greta the Secretary, and in a memorable episode of Star Trek, The Next Generation, as Rishan Uxbridge. She was a master of making supporting roles feel absolutely essential. Anne Haney was born on March 4, 1934, and gave the world 67 years of beautifully crafted performances. She passed away in 2001. Though she is no longer with us, her brilliant performances are immortalized on screen, continuing to make new generations smile. They left us a beautiful and timeless legacy that fans still celebrate today. At number 10, bringing Gloria Cheney to life, we have Polly Holliday, Daniel's nosy, scene-stealing neighbor. Polly was a lively 56 during filming, bringing her characteristic sparkle to every moment Gloria appeared on screen. Fun fact, the subplot with Gloria was actually much more extensive in the original cut, with over 30 minutes of deleted scenes featuring her and Daniel's comic sparring. Scenes now available on the extended Blu-ray release. Beyond Mrs. Doubtfire, Polly Holliday is forever enshrined in American pop culture as Flo Castleberry on the beloved CBS sitcom Alice, the waitress who gave the world the immortal catchphrase, "Kiss my grits," a role that earned her 2 Golden Globe Awards and several Emmy nominations. Polly Holliday was born on July 2, 1937, and brought joy to audiences for nearly 6 decades. She passed away peacefully on September 9, 2025, at the age of 88. Though she is no longer with us, her brilliant performances are immortalized on screen, continuing to make new generations smile. They left us a beautiful and timeless legacy that fans still celebrate today. Number 11 goes to Martin Mull, who played Justin Gregory, the TV station colleague with a perfectly dry comic presence. Martin was 50 during filming, and he brought his signature deadpan wit to every frame he inhabited. Martin Mull was one of those rare talents who could walk into a scene, deliver a single line with absolutely no inflection, and somehow make the entire room erupt. Justin Gregory is a small role in the film, but in Mull's hands, it feels complete and memorable. Here's a fascinating creative twist. Martin Mull was not just an actor, he was a Grammy-nominated musician, a professional painter, and a writer. His paintings have been featured in books and on album covers, including a Steve Martin and Edie Brickell album cover. He was a true Renaissance artist. He's also beloved as Colonel Mustard in the cult classic Clue, 1985, and as Leon Karp on Roseanne. Martin Mull was born on August 18, 1943, and gave the world 80 wonderful years of laughter, music, and art. He passed away on June 27, 2024. Though he is no longer with us, his brilliant performances are immortalized on screen, continuing to make new generations smile. They left us a beautiful and timeless legacy that fans still celebrate today. Coming in at number 12 is Scott Capurro, bringing Jack to life, Frank's partner, the other half of the duo that creates Mrs. Doubtfire's legendary transformation. Scott was 31 during filming, and in 2026, he is 63. Still sharp, still funny, still that quietly scene-stealing presence that made Jack so genuinely lovable. Jack and Frank together are the unsung heroes of the entire film. Without them, there is no Mrs. Doubtfire, period. Here's a wonderful fun fact. Scott Capurro is also a very accomplished stand-up comedian, well regarded on both sides of the Atlantic for his sharp, unapologetic wit. He has performed extensively in the UK as well as the US, making him a transatlantic comedy treasure. In 2026, Scott Capurro continues to perform stand-up comedy and remains active in entertainment. A quietly legendary figure who made one of cinema's most beloved transformations possible. At number 13, we have Sydney Walker, who played the wonderfully warm bus driver, the kind stranger whose brief interaction with Mrs. Doubtfire sparkles with unexpected sweetness. Sidney was 72 years old during filming, and he brought the full weight of a lifetime's theatrical experience to this small but beautifully warm role. Every moment he appeared on screen felt lived in and genuine. Here's a wonderful bit of cinematic trivia. Sidney Walker had an extensive career on stage and screen, with a deep background in classical theater, bringing his consummate professionalism to every role, no matter the size. His scenes in Mrs. Doubtfire are a masterclass in how to make every single moment count, regardless of how much screen time you're given. Sidney Walker was born in 1921 and gave the world 74 magnificent years of performance. He passed away in 1995. Though he is no longer with us, his brilliant performances are immortalized on screen, continuing to make new generations smile. They left us a beautiful and timeless legacy that fans still celebrate today. And rounding out our list at number 14, we have to give a massive, heartfelt shout-out to the Oscar-winning makeup team behind Mrs. Doubtfire herself, V. Neil, Greg Canham, and Yolanda Tusiang. These extraordinary artists won the Academy Award for Best Makeup at the 1994 Oscars, and it is absolutely deserved. 4 hours, every single day. That's how long it took to transform Robin Williams into Mrs. Euphigenia Doubtfire, building a prosthetic mask so convincing that Robin literally walked through San Francisco in full character without a single person recognizing him. The craftsmanship is nothing short of astonishing. The real magic of Mrs. Doubtfire isn't just in the performances, it's in that face. That warm, slightly wrinkled, absolutely believable face. And in 2026, V. Neil and Greg Canham remain iconic names in Hollywood's makeup world, their Oscar-winning artistry on Mrs. Doubtfire forever a high watermark for the entire craft. And there you have it, friends, the cast of Mrs. Doubtfire, then and now, from 1993 all the way to 2026. What a journey, what a cast, what a film. Now it's your turn to be part of this reunion. Looking back, which scene from this classic still makes you smile the most today? Is it the legendary dinner scene where Mrs. Doubtfire has to juggle 2 tables? The moment Daniel finally reveals himself to his children? Or maybe just that very last shot, that beautifully hopeful ending? Share your favorite Mrs. Doubtfire memory in the comments below. We genuinely want to read every single one. Okay, it's time to separate the casual viewers from the true Mrs. Doubtfire devotees. Here's your question. When Mrs. Doubtfire tells Miranda the story of her late husband Winston, what does she say was the cause of his passing? Option A, he fell asleep at the wheel. Option B, he was hit by a Guinness truck. Comment A or B below to prove you're a true fan. And don't forget to subscribe for more positive and nostalgic movie journeys like this one. We'll see you in the next one.